In summary, we define Jim Crow as a legally and socially enforced caste system based on white supremacy and black inferiority in civic and social realms, generally enforced by the coercive power of the state through the law. Jim Crow developed as a white governmental response to the empowerment of blacks during Reconstruction, after emancipation had removed the so-called place of African Americans, and they searched to embed room for themselves in the post-Civil War United States. Whites began referring to these activities as the Negro question, quote unquote. Eventually, Southern governments were taken back over by conservatives who called themselves Bourbons or Redeemers, and eventually they were able to leverage the weariness of Northerners so that the federal government withdrew its protection of African American political and legal equality. Such withdrawal occurred in the political realm in 1877 when a compromise in the U.S. House of Representatives gave Republican candidate Rutherford B. Hayes enough votes to ascend to the presidency. Hayes kept his end of the bargain and removed the last federal troops from southern states. But federal courts still protected black legal rights until they no longer did. In a series of cases from 1873 to 1898, the Supreme Court withdrew its protection of blacks' legal rights. At the same time as the federal government withdrew, white terrorism became a tool to enforce the emerging caste system. Race riots, usually white invasions of black and other minority neighborhoods from 1886 to 1921, overthrew black-dominated civil governments, destroyed black property, and killed black people. Lynching was a different version of racial terrorism and usually victimized individuals as a community's way of establishing a local version of the emerging racial caste system. Jim Crow laws, in the form of constitutional provisions, state statutes, and local ordinances, created what we call de jure segregation, discrimination by the law itself. It played out in four great areas: education, public accommodations, voting, and personal freedom. We examined a grim litany of state laws in each area. Finally, we examined the short history of city ordinances segregating neighborhoods between 1910 and the Supreme Court decision in Buchanan v. Warley in 1917 that ruled such ordinances unconstitutional. Not because they were blatantly racially discriminatory, which they were, but because they interfered with owners disposing of their property. Such ordinances fell quickly, but were replaced by neighborhood-specific restrictive covenants and soon by zoning ordinances that imposed economic restrictions on residential property ownership. This ends the lecture. Thank you for your attention.